Hello, welcome. This is the Feminine Inquisition. My name is Tiffany. We are going through card by card, each individual card of the new deck, the Cosmic Womb. This is the cover of the deck. I know that if you're following this series, you're probably getting tired of seeing the same intro, but I don't think I'll ever get tired of how beautiful this is, how mesmerizing it is. And maybe even a little erotic, right? Because it is the cosmic womb. I do think there's some vulva in there. But I digress. Anyway, I wanted to tell you that today's card is the strength. I did a message for Leo yesterday, you versus them. I got some emails asking me to do readings instead of just the cards. So I thought, why not do a reading for the zodiac that I'm going through. So obviously strength is related to Leo, and so you can check out you versus them if you are Leo. If not, today will just be about strength. And as the format has been for these readings, I'll go into my description, my idea of what the symbolism is of the strength, um, what it means for us in the deck, and then also how this exists in an orbit or a constellation with other tarot cards when it shows up on your path. And as I've been talking this through, I feel like these other energies are either co-activators or sources of inspiration or challenges that you have to overcome to be able to unlock, as we are discussing today, the strength energy, but any card that we are showcasing. So this is strength. Now, strength is typically number 8, which is easy to remember because the infinite loop hangs above our head in many illustrations. And I'll start there. That infinite loop is the law of correspondence, as above, so below. And that law of correspondence is one of the laws of Hermeticism, and it's about magic, right? On the micro and the macro, that what exists in you on a cellular level exists at an atomic level in the quantum fields. And that quantum field theory, you interacting with reality, is, this is the way in which you have cellular resonance with your external reality. Okay? It's not a belief system, it's science. So I just mean to say that typically it's number 8. However, you will see today in one of the decks I'm going to talk through that it is number 11. So it swaps with justice. We did not do that order in the cosmic womb, but it could be quite fascinating if you want to get into a rabbit hole of how those switched. Crowley would be a really good place to start, okay? Aleister Crowley. If you don't know who that is, you should totally be knowing who that is. So what is the strength? This is your life force. This is your will to live in challenging circumstances. This could signify a challenging moment that you're going through currently, or one that is going to arrive soon. But it asks you to check in and ponder and really think critically. How are you using your strengths? Are you using them for your highest good? Are you using them because you cultivated them a long time ago and just have been in default setting? Are you doing something because you're good at it, but it's draining out your life force because you don't love it? We are in constant flux, so it does one a huge benefit to check in and see if the strengths, the life force, the energy that they're putting out is giving a return on investment. Not everything that you are good at is something that you are meant to do. Likewise, not every strength that you have is something that you need to continue to bring into the everyday. I'll give you an example. If you had a combative household, or you were stuck as a middle child, or managing the relationship of parents and parental dynamics, either between themselves or between them and their siblings, their parents, it means that you, at a young age, maybe put your needs aside because you were caretaking for the needs of others. This is just an example. Now that's your strength. You grow up, you become an adult, You become acclimated, adjusted. You get even further into adult years. Adult starts to suck less because you're doing it well. But what you have cultivated as a strength may no longer apply. You no longer have to, for survival, be a caretaker of other people's emotions, other people's lifestyle, other people's choices and their relationships. Furthermore, you don't have to put your feelings, your emotions, your needs, your satisfaction aside. Right? So we can get so good at numbing our experience because it's easier. But this strength is no longer a strength if you're far from you. So we must ask, is this strength for my highest good? And here's why. This is what's most important. Do you see how she has hands around a lion, holding the mouth? The mouth is open. She's trying to get something out of the mouth. Help the lion if the lion maybe is choking on something. Maybe it's a matter of a metaphor for communication. There is a tender embrace here that requires a huge amount of confidence, support, and skill. And part of this is a symbol for taming the beast within. Learning how to pick your battles, to choose them wisely. So why does this matter? So if you do not feed the beast in you, your beast will have its way with you. Out there in the streets, making fights with random people, right? Like if you don't recognize that a piece of you is not satisfied with the effort that you're putting out, your strength, you are getting less than a satisfactory experience. And the animal, the beast, they want to be content. They want to have exact change. They don't want to be taken for granted. They want to have full experiences and express themselves completely in each experience. So if you are not, let's say for another example, using your strength to vocalize your ideas in the workplace, for example, you bet your bottom dollar that in another environment, perhaps when ordering coffee or at a restaurant or in transit on the train or when driving, that you are going to have a serious level of aggression, free-floating rage that's available because you are not taming the beast. The beast has this creative, fiery energy that needs to get put into your life somehow. And if you don't use it in the way where it can be to your benefit, and you subdue these strengths, they will find a way in your experience no matter what. So in a battle between the conscious and the unconscious, the subconscious will always win, and you will be none the wiser. I don't want to go down that path. That's a lot. That's a lot for this, but strength is a lot. To be strong in one's life is a lot, because the stronger you are, the more people come to expect from you, the more responsibility you have. And it's also a matter of ego. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. Of course, we know that Leo and the sun, it's quite easily understood why they get this reputation or stereotype, generic center of attention. The center of our universe is the sun. We all revolve around the sun. It is our life force. So it's quite commonplace that if the sun is powering Leo, this is the macro feeding into the micro, right? Okay. But when we want to think about ego and Identity. So if your identity is attached to a particular strength, and there's a complication in your life where that strength that you are trying to employ doesn't give you the results that you had hoped for, it is crippling for the identity. It becomes a much more severe, dramatic, cataclysmic experience when really it was just an ordinary conflict. So it's a hard one to chew, because when the identity is jeopardized, you go into survival mode, all of us. But it is a Leo's lesson about what things are personal and what things have no personal bearing whatsoever. Right? Okay. I saw this, to show you this as I say this next joke, I saw this great post or meme on Instagram that said, in celebration of Leo season, I found out that Leo means puta dramática in Spanish, and that means golden lion. And I think that's beautiful. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to use 2 decks. I'm going to start with the Vision Prism because it's only 2. And I'm just going to, again, tell you why I'm using other decks. This is not a reading. This is the Cosmic Womb Tarot, and I'm showing you each individual card. Today is the Strength, and the Strength has orbits or constellations or other cards that it connects to, as the illustrators have deemed so. I didn't have a conversation with them. It's through the illustration. You can see that there's a thread that runs through and connects them. So in the Vision Prism, the cards are all really kind of spirals of color, and there's forms, but some of it is also formlessness. And it's a beautiful deck, but there are only 2 cards that have a sense of a huge person in the background, shadow, walking. And so it's up to you how you're going to see these legs. Are they walking towards something? Are they walking away? You can see there's several faces of the lion, right? So that your beast has many different ways in which it is expressing itself. But there are, in the background, like it's a body, a man. And it almost looks like there's grass or plants surrounding the lion, so that he's kind of walking in a landmine of challenging environments where he has to be strong, show courage. The High Priestess. So the land is much more calm, but there's still fruits there. Nuggets of gold, right? Nuggets of knowledge, truth, wisdom. The pomegranate was the original apple from Adam and Eve from the Persian Empire. So you can see that the legs don't go in the same direction. So you take with that what you will. But this, for me, is very clearly about choosing your battles. When to speak, when to not. And that's why we have in the image and many illustrations the opening of the mouth. When to express your life force, your courage, your strength, and when not. And for Leo specifically, when to take it personally and when to not. Okay. Now, I've got the circle of life. Now, circle of life is kind of interesting because they do make the strength the 11. So I'm going to go in order because for me, they kind of present themselves in a Celtic cross. So the Celtic cross is on the ground, and I'll go through those after. I have 2 minor arcanas, which add to 8, even though that in this deck, the strength is the 11. So let's just show them both at the same time, but they're kind of big cards, so I'll do my best, okay? So we'll switch the order so that makes sense for the number. The 3 of Wands. That is a warrior. Looks a little like just finished, completed battle. Won, but ready for whatever comes its way. And it's obviously one of the dragon people. I don't know. This deck is very, very magical. And here we have a war between what is a strange lion elf, I don't know, and a bird. Maybe a phoenix even, I don't know, but a bird of prey. And so we know the 3 of Wands and the 5 of Wands respectively are about energy, action, fire, because it's Wands. We know 5 is challenging environments of confusion, of chaos, of competition. And we know 3 is the internal harmony of waiting for that which you'd like to manifest. This is a low-level manifestation, a minor arcana manifestation card of waiting for your for what you've taken action on in the 2 of Wands as your good promise for the Ace of Wands to actually come true. And there's a huge amount of faith and surrender and patience, and just this is when your belief system really needs to kick in. Your worthiness needs to kick in. No doubt, no insecurity, because it takes time to manifest. We have a buffer of time between what our thoughts are and then making it a reality. And thank God, because we think up ridiculous things. So, you need to have strength in both capacities. One is on the collective and one is on the individual. And normally, you will work the journey to put all of your faith on your individual, and that will eventually, inevitably, find you in this position. So it's not one or the other, it's both. Okay? All right. Now, that aside, the rest of the cards that I'm going to talk about in this orbit are all majors, okay? So we start with the 8, which is justice. This is the Circle of Life Tarot. I know I said it, but I just can't not repeat myself. So what we see is a fish. I don't know, amphibian perhaps. Ordinary accoutrements of justice. Moving on to the 9, the Hermit. This is so cool because the illumination instead of a lantern is the moon. I'll go through the thread of all of them in a moment. I just want to show you them. After the 9, the 10, the Wheel of Fortune. See the scarab holding it? It's a dragon that surrounds, and that's the zodiac wheel. Yeah, and that's the planets. So as you can see, the sun is a huge part of this card as well. Now, 11, strength. A vertical snapshot of a horizontal fight. Now, I guess it's up to you. I don't see the lion as winning. But who knows where we are in the fight. And so this person looks very similar. The person that is in the strength and justice. But they are not the same. They have the same colored bodies, but they are not the same. So let's just talk about the threads. So even though, of course, there's orbits, there's constellations, there's several cards which are not the same suits, etc. But in general, every card runs into each other in succession, and they all interplay, just the way zodiacs run into each other and they relate to each other, right? So, for example, if we talk about Leo, because today's card is the strength, Leo runs into Virgo, and Leo is a fixed sign. So it's fire, it's ambitious, it's creative, it's intense, it's loyal and productive, wild, even a little bit. But it's a fixed sign. So it has its mind made up. It's not very adaptable. It's more Taurian than anything. There are times when a lion acts very much like a bull. And so when that comes into Virgo, what's interesting is that Virgo picks up the adaptable. It kicks in the mutable signs. But Virgo is all about the specific details. So it's almost like Leo hands over the best elements as we transition through the season. Leo hands over the best elements of being fixed. Keep these in mind, keep these in order, do the color coordination, use the Dewey Decimal System, right? Whatever. But it hands off the wisdom to Virgo, but be flexible. And Virgo sometimes gets the message and sometimes doesn't. You know what I mean. Right, okay, so the strength for capital T truth, fairness with yourself and with others, and even the things that you have not seen, that you don't know. The courage to pursue and persist anyway, because change is constant and there's nothing that you can't get through. Your identity is only one that continues in this circle. That's the only thing that your identity is attached to. The ever or the endless cycle of things, the constant change. I don't know if it's shown vertically because they want you to feel like maybe there's no defeat. There's only courage in how it's used. Yeah, I leave that to you. Okay? But it's important to recognize that when strength shows up as number 11, it's you versus you. 1 versus 1. And when it shows up as 8, it's about the infinite loop of your ability to carry out every experience with the most courage that you possibly can. Okay? There's no right or wrong. There just is. I'm going to show you once more, okay? This is our strength. And so, of course, you know, these are not the size of the cards once they're printed. Also, they've been enhanced. There's numbers, there's borders, and astrological glyphs. This is the back of the deck. The Cosmic Womb Tarot. Like, share, comment, subscribe, pre-order. Ready to ship as of October. I've got a lot of sun in here. And that is such a beautiful way to say bye to this card celebrating strength and Leo and the sun. Ciao.